Bayou Time Sports is brought to you by Terrebonne General Health System Community Sports Institute in conjunction with Barker Honda and Barker Kia.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Bayou Time Sports. I'm Stan Gravois, and it is my pleasure to be joined by James Bergeron, Hall of Fame inductee to the 2025 Nicholls State University Athletic Class. What a terrific honor. James, a native of Houma, a terrific baseball player. Congratulations, my friend. Well deserved.
Thank you, Stan. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Everything sort of culminates this week. On Saturday, you will officially be inducted into the hall at the Danaw Center, which is actually inside of Talbot Hall. And that's going to be really fun. You're going to actually a little bit later at halftime of the football game be recognized at the football game too. Just a terrific career. I know your love for Nicholls State. Talk about what it means to you.
Well, I got the scholarship in '69. Coach Didier came to my house, and then in '70 I got to play for Nicholls for 4 years, 70, 71, 2, 3. And it's a great career and great place to play baseball.
Not only a great career, I guess if you go back and you look at the golden years of Nicholls State baseball, you were right in the middle of it. Obviously, in 1970, you guys were the Division II World Series runner-up.
Yes.
Unfortunately, ran into a team out of California in the finals, but obviously the most acclaimed baseball team and the most rewarded baseball team. A lot of people forget that 2 years later, in 1972, y'all were really good too.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, got knocked out in regionals, didn't quite make the World Series. Those days at Terrebonne High, when you were in the 10th grade, maybe even before that at Terrebonne B, which we used to call it, was baseball always it, or were you just a sports rat in general?
No, I baseball and football. I was the backup quarterback for Mike Walker, one of the best to ever play at Terrebonne.
Right.
And but my junior year, I decided to stick with baseball only. I quit football, and John Wayne Chesson was my coach my first 2 years at Terrebonne. We had some really good ball clubs. Mike Walker, as I said, was one of the best pitchers I ever caught. And we had some, we never won district. It's something that we never did in my 3 years playing at Terrebonne. And really good ball players I played with, Danny LeBlanc being one of them.
Played with you at Nicholls too.
Played with me. One of the reasons I went to Nicholls, Kenny Alfred, who hell of a pitcher from Morgan City.
Yeah.
He, Roy Chauvin, and Danny went to Nicholls in 1968. So I was considering hoping I'd get an offer, but like at the beginning of the summer after I graduated, no calls. And all of a sudden, Northeast calls. And I can't remember the coach's name right now, but Mike Thompson, Mitch Thompson,
Sure.
they were up there already, a year ahead of me, and they told him to, he should make me an offer. And he called and made me an offer for half scholarship, which was good in those days for a catcher or infielder. Pitchers usually got the full scholarships.
Right.
So I didn't turn him down. I said, Coach, let me think about it. And then one of my favorite stories I ever tell anybody about my dad is, I was sitting in the living room, and he was in the kitchen drinking coffee, and I heard the phone ring, and so I hear, James, it's for you. Oh, come around the corner, and he's just like this. He's something a little unusual. He had the phone in his hand, and he had it extended. He said, it's LSU. My dad was a huge LSU fan, huge. And he just looked me right in the eye and said, it's LSU. So I kind of gulped, said LSU. And Coach Smith, Jim Smith, I think his name was, he was a coach of LSU at that time, and he offered me a health scholarship too. So I said, thank you, Coach. Can you give me a few days to think about it? And to this day, I don't know what my dad was thinking in that moment, But I gave him the phone back, and I didn't tell Coach Smith I was going.
Right.
And I said, I'll think about it the next couple of days and call you, Coach. He said, appreciate it, et cetera, et cetera. And Dad just looked at me, took the phone and hung it up and went back to drinking his coffee. And I know he wanted me to say yes right then. 3 or 4 days later, I got a call from Coach Didier, and I accepted.
Is that right?
Yeah, and Dad was probably maybe a little upset about me not going to LSU, but happy they could go watch me at Nicholls.
Yeah, because
very
you're right
close.
there, right down the road. And you played for, obviously, a legend in
Yes.
Coach Didier. So that's sort of how it happened. Any regrets? I mean, do you look back and say, I wonder what that would have been like? Because y'all had such a great
No
4 years.
regret, but just in the back of your mind, you think, could have been fun at LSU, but it really worked out at Nicholls for my 4 years.
We're going to take a little break. I do want to get your thoughts on Ray Didier, because obviously he was your coach here for 4
Yes.
years, and sort of what it was like playing at that time for the Colonels.
Yeah.
So if you hold on, we'll take a commercial break. We'll be right back with Hall of Fame inductee James Bergeron right after this timeout.
Stay tuned for more Bayou Time Sports brought to you by Terrebonne General Health Systems and Barker Honda.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Bayou Time Sports. I am so happy to be joined by James Bergeron, inductee into the 2025 Nicholls Athletic Hall of Fame. That'll happen this Saturday over at Talbot Hall in the Danos Theater at 10 o'clock in the morning. There you see the other inductees going in with James. James is product of Houma, Louisiana, played his high school baseball at Terrebonne High School, 1969 graduate of
Yes.
Terrebonne High School. Then for 4 years was a star on the baseball team over at Nicholls State University in the golden years. Those years included finishing as the World Series runner-up in Division II, the NCAA Division II tournament in Springfield, as there you see some of the memories of that team. Number 8,
Good pick.
if I'm not mistaken.
Number 8. I
all
got lucky.
4 years?
No, number 8, number 7.
Number
In one
8.
uniform, I wore number 7. The other one, number 8. And of course, Yogi Berra was my hero. So
Oh, that's awesome.
number 8.
That's awesome. I didn't realize that. What kind of guy was Ray Didier?
Coach Ray Didier was a fundamentalist, believed in the fundamentals of baseball. His practices were 2 hours, boom, you're done. And he was also very strict. And when you were wrong in doing something or did something wrong, he held you accountable. That's the kind of man he was.
I have to say this, and I knew of you when I was a kid growing up in high school. You were coaching actually at H.L. Bourgeois, and we
Yes.
always certainly respected what you did as a coach. But when I watch games with you and your brothers, Ted and Matt, and whoever else might be there, you look at those catchers and you know fundamentally, you understand some of the stuff you don't agree with in today's world, the way they do some of those things. Is that sort of a byproduct of that? Or is that from your dad too, growing
That's
up?
from my dad, first and foremost. He and Didier were a lot alike when it came to, okay, you do this, we'll reward you. You don't, we're going to hold you accountable to your mistake or whatever you did wrong. I was late for my first meeting. I ran for a week, every morning at 5 a.m. almost. Emil Joller, who was a great coach and wasn't too happy, he had to get up every morning, and then I was late for my second meeting. And that one I really overslept. That very simple. And I thought I was going to get kicked off the team. Well, I ran for another week. I was never late again.
Very good. Listen, in 1972, you led the Colonels in RBIs. You're a guy who steadfastly, it sounds like from all of the guys you played with, I've been fortunate enough to go down sometimes when y'all had the gathering down in Cocodrie.
Yes.
They'll talk about sort of the anchor you were for that. Can you think of 4 better years in your life maybe than that? I mean, obviously there are, and I'm being a little exaggeratory, but.
As far as playing baseball, that's the best. I might have had more fun in the Eagles and the Oilers semi-pro.
I'm glad you bring that up. For you folks who don't know it, you were the cog. You were the guy who really got that started. I know, other people, Gray Falls was involved in things like that. But in the early 80s here in Terrebonne Parish, we had a semi-pro team, and it was fun, and you could go watch. And I think Vanderbilt let y'all use the field there.
Well, there's a lot of, I could spend hours talking about that. Thanks to, I can't remember, he was the athletic director at the time, great coach.
Gerald Albert, maybe?
Gerald Albert. Gerald came to, I went to Gerald actually. And first Gray Falls and Johnson, I can't remember his first name, but they started the Eagles, the Oilers, Houma Oilers in 1980. And my dad, the great thing about that, Ted and I both played on it, and Coach Falls, Gray Falls was the coach. And Dad got to see us play one more time, and he had cancer at the time and passed away the following year. But he got to see us play baseball one more time. That was a great thing. And I decided right about the second year that Gray and them ran out of money and we weren't going to have a team the next year. And I decided, well, no, this one's for Dad. I'm going to keep this thing going. And I took over, and I went around, got donations, $500 per company. Back then, the oil field was still rocking and rolling, and I managed to keep.
UK Distributing have anything to do with it?
Oh, did he? Mr. Buque.
Yeah.
Great man. Great.
It was
man.
just fun to have that. Y'all were very talented.
Oh, we had
obviously a lot of ex-Nicholls players, but also Southeastern guys.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, y'all had a little
the
bit of
Bollingers. We had Niles and Craig, and Dave Grieve, and Steve Williams, and
you in there. Yeah.
I'm gonna miss a bunch of people. Paul Fish played, Barry Pellegrin, Brian Life. We had fun.
Yeah, well, you had fun if you throwing in those last two in there for sure. Listen, this is a class of, if I'm not mistaken, 6 going in. It obviously has to be something that is special to you. You're still very much involved with Nicholls baseball, related to a support system for Coach Herring there. When you got the news, just talk about it a little bit.
Well, I got the call from JT, Jonathan Terrell, and it took me a couple days to get used to thinking, I'm really going to go in the Hall of Fame, because if you didn't know, the Hall of Fame began in I'm a history major, so I started looking at things, and baseball started in 1960, first real team at Nicholls. And so I was in the first decade of playing baseball at Nicholls. And since then, 1980 was the first Hall of Fame class. And of course, they went back and brought in some older. It's been a while since somebody in my age bracket has been in the Hall of Fame and going into the Hall of Fame. And there are 24 baseball players before me, and I'm 25.
That is awesome.
I'm pretty proud of that.
That's a pretty good team.
And humbled by it.
That's a
Very
good team
humble.
of 25. And listen, I hope there's a day. Your brother Ted was a terrific quarterback for the Colonels in the mid-'70s.
Oh, I've got something to say about that.
How about we save it till the next segment?
That's good.
So Ted, a good quarterback, and obviously your younger brother Matt is an all-conference baseball player too at Nicholls.
Yep.
Congratulations. We hope everything goes well on Saturday, and we're very proud of you.
Thank you.
Got to take a break. We'll be back right after this timeout.
Stay tuned for more Bayou Time Sports, brought to you by Terrebonne General Health Systems and Barker Honda.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Bayou Time Sports. I'm Stan Grubba. It is my pleasure to be joined by James Bergeron, 2025 inductee into the Nicholls State University Athletic Hall of Fame. That all happens this Saturday. James from right here in Houma, a star at Terrebonne High School, graduate 1969, and then went on to play at Nicholls State baseball as a catcher for 4 years, led it for 4 years, led the team in RBI in 1972. Terrific. We mentioned in one of the other segments, James, golden years. That's what I like to use, because you guys were so good in 1970 and 1972, and you set the standard for everything along the way. Knowing you, knowing your brothers, I know it all comes from family. I know your dad, I understand, was a terrific athlete back in the Evangeline League days and things like that. Talk about what that means to you to be going into a school y'all all have succeeded and I think hold very dearly to the heart, right?
Yeah. Our family was built on baseball, sports in general, and my dad was at every game we ever played when he could. He worked for Texaco in the field, and we grew up right there at Maple Street Park. I could throw a football into the park. That's how close it was. So we all played. Now, my older brother, Keith, he played sports till he was about 13, 14. Then he lost interest, and he became a mechanic. And
I heard he can fix anything,
he
too.
can fit Mr. Fix It. Anyway, I shout out to him because he's my older brother, and he watched out for me. Because beat me up about every other week, and that gave me character over the years. But now, Ted, best all-around athlete in the family.
Kind of did baseball and football for a while. I saw one of his plays at the very end of a Hornville football game where he made a tremendous run.
I was there. It was a remarkable run. But Ted went to Nicholls, was redshirted. I think his sophomore year they won conference, or his junior year they won conference, first conference championship ever. Ted was a great quarterback, emulated Joe Namath, liked to stand tall in the pocket he had to because he was 5'11". But Ted had moves, unbelievable moves, and just a great all-around athlete. And then Matt followed and went to Nicholls, and Matt was drafted by his junior year or junior year. He was drafted by the Twins in the 12th round, if I'm incorrect. They offered, a few $1,000s. He turned it down. Then the next year he hurt his arm, and that ended his career. Or both of those would have probably been in the Hall of Fame before me.
That's awesome. Did you have, I had always heard this, sort of a cup of coffee with the Expos organization?
Yeah. I got a call right after I finished Nicholls from Mel Didier, and he offered me, asked me, first of all, was I in shape? I said yes. And then he asked me if I was playing ball, and I told him softball, and that might have not been the right answer.
That's not the right answer for a baseball guy.
But so the following year, I got a tryout with the Expos, was with them for 2 weeks in Daytona Beach, and I left. I ran out of money, and I cut myself the day before the cut.
Is that right?
I didn't have. I just had a feeling it wasn't going to be my time.
I know you're a very fundamental and technique-orientated guy, obviously coaching high school after finishing at Nicholls State also. That all being said, are you still an enthusiast of baseball? Do you watch Major League Baseball like you used to watch? How was that?
I was watching it until the last couple of years. I'm kind of disenchanted with watching catchers and the way they catch and the way they get from the ground up is the way it's taught now. And you don't give a good target anymore. Your hands are moving all over the place. And to me, they open up themselves the way they catch now on the knee almost all the time with runners on scoring base on first, second, and especially third just drives me nuts.
I'll ask this last question as we have about a minute left. You're going to be recognized this Saturday. Obviously, y'all are inducted in a private ceremony, but at halftime of the football game against McNeese State at 3 o'clock, you'll be walking across that field.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll have family members with you. Think your emotions will be in check?
I don't know. If I think about my mom, who's 96, and the backbone of our company.
It's a company now. It's a company too.
Of our family. My sister Jan will be there and filming everything. And thank God for Jan. She kept my scrapbook. So when they called me about the Hall of Fame, what'd you do? That's the only way I'd have known. Looking at this, that I was awarded this, or I was all district this, or that. That's the only way I'd have had it. But my mom, number one, she's 96, still with us, and
that's neat.
She's really excited about this.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what, we're all very proud too. We'll all be there too. including
Appreciate
us
it,
from
Stan.
HGV. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's this Saturday. James Bergeron inducted with the class of 2025. Congratulations, my friend.
Thank you, sir.
We'll take a break. We'll be back right after this.
This segment was brought to you by Terrebonne General Health System Community Sports Institute in conjunction with Barker Honda and Barker Kia.